Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so we're getting ready to play the Minnesota Timberwolves off a back-to-back. Yesterday we had some success against the Cleveland Cavaliers in a noonday game. Loved what we saw from our team. It was fun. Team effort. Defense could have been better. Free throws definitely could have been better, but otherwise we really played good ball. D-Lo had it going. Braun, AD was spectacular. Defensively, we just really appreciated the effort of the team. Taurean Prince shot the ball extremely well off the bench. Jackson Hayes' energy was really good, as well as Spencer Dinwiddie defensively off the bench as well. We just had a good team effort. Austin and Rui didn't play their best game, so we're hopeful they'll bounce back today. Now, this game's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern here in Los Angeles. Minnesota Timberwolves right now currently the #1 overall seed. Of course, that fluctuates with every game because all three of the top teams are pretty much locked together at the same record. So we can do some things in regards to shaking things up for them. And of course, yesterday, because of our win, we put ourselves in a position to be considered the 8th seed as of right now. Now, of course, that could change quickly with Suns and Pelicans and Sacramento and Golden State all in the flurry with us. But right now we finally got a chance to say we're the 8th seed as of today. We got to hold on to that or move up, which is what we would prefer, and the best way to do that is to take care of business by winning the games in front of us, starting with this Minnesota matchup tonight. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been a very inconsistent basketball team over the last 5 games. They beat the Denver Nuggets, then came back and lost to the Bulls. They beat the Rockets and then turned around and beat the Toronto Raptors by 50, scored 133 points. Then, the very next game, they came back and lost to the Phoenix Suns and scored their season-low 87 points. So they went from scoring 133 points to 87 points in one game. That is highly, highly inconsistent. And for them to be ending the season like this, I would be concerned. You want to be playing your best ball. Now, the Lakers are on a 4-game winning streak. We've won, I think, 11 out of our last 12 or something spectacular like that. Only loss we had was against the Pacers in a 4 out of 5 game night. 4 out of 5 days we played games or something like that. So we were really exhausted and we just had flat feet, shot the ball extremely poorly, and you're probably not going to see that very often going forward. Outside of that, we've only lost to the teams that we really struggle with: the Golden State Warriors, the Sacramento Kings, and the Denver Nuggets. So we've been okay. And I say okay because we want to beat the teams that you struggle with. You don't want to think that there are roadblocks to your success if not for those teams for which we're seeing right now. So with this Minnesota team, I think we match up very well, especially since Carl's not out there. He is still going to be listed as out tonight unless something drastic happens, which I don't believe is going to take place. I saw one player on the well, there are more. I gotta preface that by saying one player that we use in rotation that's on the injury report as of right now, which means we're very healthy for our standards. Vanderbilt is the only guy I saw on the injury report for us. Of course, Jalen Hood-Schifino is out for the season. We know that. But everybody else is back. So this is a great time for us to be getting healthy. Hopefully that doesn't force us into confusion with our rotations. But so far, we've been able to manage for the most part. Had some hiccups here and there, but it hasn't cost us as of yet. This is a big game, man. It doesn't get much bigger than this. You know, we're playing against the #1 overall seed. We don't really know where we'll land, so losing to them or beating them with the intentions of trying to manipulate the top seed so that we play somebody does not make any sense for the Lakers. We're in the play-in tournament right now. We would have to win games to get into the playoffs, so we don't necessarily benefit from losing to the Minnesota Timberwolves to try to shake things up so that we don't play Denver or something like that. We just need to try to get out of the play-in tournament, catch that 6th seed, even if it's Denver there. Play less basketball is the motto. So we don't want any one-and-done situations if we can help it, and if we do have to play in the play-in tournament, we definitely want to be in the top tier, rather in the 9th, 10th positions. So beating the Minnesota Timberwolves can go a long way in getting that done. Now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, we know they have a very talented bunch. They're not overly versatile, in my opinion. but they find ways of winning basketball games defense first. Rudy Gobert, two of the best defenders in the game on this team. Rudy Gobert and Jaden McDaniels in their front court right now. You got to deal with Jaden. He's going to be all over the place flashing. Sometimes he hits threes and things like that on the offensive end, but the majority of the time he's doing Vanderbilt-like things. In fact, him and Vanderbilt were a hell of a tandem about 3 years ago when they played on this team together. Unfortunately, Vando, of course, is out. But we do have quite a few Minnesota Timberwolves, ex-T-Wolves on this team. Taurean Prince being one of them. D'Angelo Russell being another. Vanderbilt, of course, out. But, you know, we know this squad pretty well, and I think we have an intense level of play going against them. Got to be careful with a guy like Mike Conley. He's a volatile talent on both sides of the floor. He could go anywhere from 5 points to 35 points. You don't quite know what he's going to be feeling like on a given night, but you know he's going to contribute quite a bit to their overall team success. Good ball mover, corner three-point shooter, definitely somebody who's going to hit his free throws, etc. Anthony Edwards, I mean, what do we talk about? Ant-Man, one of the biggest superstars in basketball right now, one of the most exciting players in basketball, arguably the most athletic player in basketball. So if he posterizes somebody tonight, we just simply expect it. He's tends to play inconsistent basketball against the Lakers. He's not exactly a Laker killer. He's had big games against us, but the majority of the time he's played against us, he's had bad shooting nights. So I think he's shaken that off over the last couple of times we've played them. So we need to, of course, expect him to play great. But we haven't seen the best of Anthony Edwards. We really haven't. I don't know what that has to do with, but hopefully he doesn't have one of those hot nights where he's shooting a bunch of threes from behind the arc, because we know if he sees a few fall, he's capable of breaking records. I mean, he's just that talented of a player, and I respect his game. His defensive game is growing. He's a good defensive player and still developing, but he's already a superstar. We already understand that. Rudy Gobert is going to control the paint. Defensively, we know he can rebound the ball. He didn't score very much in that last game, which contributed to why they had an overall bad team scoring game. My motto with Rudy is if you can keep him under 10 points, you likely win the game. If he scores over 15, you likely lose the game. So we need to do something about him and make sure that he doesn't have a scoring night tonight. Anthony Davis should take care of business. He's had good games against the Minnesota Timberwolves. In fact, in the last one, he had 25 rebounds against this team. So that is something that we want to see him continue to do. I loved how he was gobbling up boards yesterday for offensive rebounds. He was just catching the timely ones last night, yesterday afternoon, and we really appreciated that. We want to see that continue. Now, although this is a back-to-back, I think our team has a little more rest in this back-to-back than pretty much any other that you would see, given the fact that the game was noon yesterday with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and today this one's going to be at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. I would like to think that our team is resting right now, and they got plenty of rest after the game yesterday. So I think we'll be fresh. And, you know, there is a few players on this team that we haven't mentioned yet that are very much on my mind right now. One being Kyle Anderson, who's been playing better ball as of late off of their bench. Really a Swiss Army knife to his core. He's not going to score a whole lot most nights, but he can steal the ball, get blocks, rebound, get others involved, hit corner threes. He's just a very, very talented, unique basketball player. Doesn't play with a very strong speed, which is why they call him slow-mo. But nevertheless, he's somebody that you're going to pay attention to tonight. He's definitely going to get on the floor, and he's going to have an impact on his basketball game. I see that coming. This is a slow-mo night, and we need to be ready for him. And, of course, Naz Reid. Naz Reid is a Laker killer. We know Naz Reid. We've been talking about Naz Reid for years, and he's one of the best backup centers in basketball. Probably would be an all-star if he had a consistent starting position with a team that gave him the looks. He's a great three-point shooter for his position. Tends to kill us from behind the arc consistently. Rebounds the ball very well. Definitely a big body. You got to deal with a very talented big man in the paint. So, you know, getting him in foul trouble off the bench is very important, in my opinion, unless he's starting. I don't know if they choose to start him. Probably not. But you want him in foul trouble. You don't want him feeling comfortable. You don't want him feeling loose. And you definitely don't want him shooting threes from behind the arc too consistently. If he has a hot night, it could be a bad night for the Lakers. So that's what I want to say. We got to patrol the perimeter, respect their interior defense, and rebound the basketball at all costs. Rebound the basketball. Now, we do have a talent advantage on this team, in my opinion. They tend to have players on this roster that aren't exactly overly athletic, but they do come together to give themselves a fantastic defense. And when they want to, they can score the ball, as we saw against the Toronto Raptors. As I said, they've beaten some very good teams as of late. They beat the Denver Nuggets. I don't know who played in that game and who didn't, but they won the basketball game. So there's something to be said for that. And You know, we respect them. They beat the Rockets when the Rockets were on an 11-game winning streak. If I'm not mistaken, they were the team that snapped it. So this is a very, very dangerous basketball team. You don't stumble into 56 wins or whatever it is that they have. And although I don't think their roster on paper reflects just the most amazing basketball team, the reality is they've been winning games all year. They've been finding ways to win basketball games, and that should give you a healthy concern about whether or not they'll be able to find a way to win this one. So we just need to come in with a certain level of intensity. We know what our situation is. Although this is a back-to-back, I do want my team to come in with a certain level of energy that I hope that they'll have, given the rest possibilities of this back-to-back. So that's what's coming to mind, man. You know, this team is dangerous. Jordan McLaughlin off of the bench is somebody who could hurt you. Leonard Miller is a fantastic rookie that I think, if given a big role, could have a big career in this league. Most definitely a strong player that I really like a lot. A rookie, but they're starting to give him some garbage time minutes. Maybe he's even earned some more minutes as we go forward, so be careful. If he does step on the floor, he can have a big night. You know, but we have the home court, man. At the end of the day, this is our building. We've been on the road for 6 games. We won 5 out of those games. We're very proud of that. Came back home, took care of business against Cleveland. Now we got another home game here, and then another one against the Golden State Warriors before we head back on the road for the final 2. This is an important stretch. We want every game left. We want that 6th seed, if at all possible, and I believe that we will get it if we win out. Now, if we lose a game, probably not. But if we can win all of these last 4 games, I believe we'll end up in the 6th seed. I think things will shake out in our favor. I know that's optimistic. There's a lot of stuff that has to happen, but I think those things are going to happen. So that is just my little personal hope and belief. But I think the Los Angeles Lakers have their own fate in their own hands, and we really could benefit from getting out of the play-in tournament, probably more so than any of the other teams that are in it. So that's what I want to see us do. I want us to win these games. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are a beatable basketball team for us. We match up very well with them. This ain't Denver. This ain't Sacramento. This is a team that we should be able to beat, especially since Carl's not out there. They are short some guys. Their bench is not overly talented, although they contribute to winning. They play defense, but, you know, we've been one of the best offensive teams and one of the best shooting teams in the league. So we're going to put that to the test today, especially if D'Lo's shooting the way that he did last night. We should be in firm control of the scoring punch tonight. I just need my guys who didn't play well to step back up. Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, I want them to play better tonight. And if we can get them playing on the same page with everybody else playing well, we're nearly an unstoppable basketball team. So that's what it is, man. Massive game. Your Los Angeles Lakers, of course, is Sunday. During the weekends, we always wear whites, no exception, no matter what. So that's what we'll be wearing. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be wearing their black and green road uniforms. I think that's black. It might be charcoal, somewhere in that range. That is what they'll be wearing tonight. Neon green. So, you know, it is what it is, man. Minnesota Timberwolves are a team that has been winning all season long. They're not a bad squad. Historically, they're a terrible organization, but this is not that year. This is definitely not that year, and they are now firmly in position to have a good stretch going forward with a guy like Anthony Edwards, who's only going to continue to ascend in star power. So if he has a massive night, no one should be surprised. He is that type of guy. We just need to make sure that we match that by having our stars show up like they did against the Cavaliers, for which we were very proud of. And, you know, that's what we need, man, a low turnover basketball game. We had 20 turnovers in the previous matchup. Found a way to win anyway. That is not something I'm counting on tonight. We must not give the ball to a already good defense who's likely going to force turnovers anyway. Cut down the unforced ones, rebound the basketball, hit your shots, make free throws, since that's been a newfound problem for us over the last 2 games or so, and ultimately put ourselves in a position to continue to get out in transition. We did a great job getting in the fast break. We had a lot of fast break points last night against the Cavs. Hopefully we can do the same thing against this not so very athletic Minnesota basketball club. So that's pretty much what comes to mind, man. Excited about this one. A little nervous about the circumstances in front of us because every game is so precious. But I like what I see from my basketball team. We just got to take every possession seriously and take care of the pointers that I just said right there. And, you know, try to cap off Naz Reid, man. I think that's a really important thing. Naz Reid and Kyle Anderson, if they can have off nights, I like our chances. But if those two guys are killing, it could be a long night. So that's what comes to mind, man. That's what comes to mind, man. Let the others cap off the others in this game. If Rudy Gobert gonna go for 40, then you can't beat him. But you know, it's the Jordan McLaughlins and the Leonard Millers and Naz Reid and Luka Garzas and all these different guys. I think Luka's still there. Is he still there? I don't know if Luka's still there. But their role players are the guys that we need not have us be beaten by tonight. We need our role players to outplay their role players. The Spencer Dinwiddies of the world. You know, Gabe Vincent. We'd love to see Gabe Vincent have a nice night tonight. Not doing too much, but doing good things with his minutes. You know, Taurean Prince, if he continued to shoot the way he shot yesterday, that'll go a long way in us beating the Wolves tonight. Austin and Rudy, we need the others to really, really, really lock in tonight. It's on y'all, in my opinion. The Stars are going to be the Stars. They're going to be ready for these big games. But it's going to teeter on whether or not the D-Lows and those guys can just play good ball and not have completely off nights. Cut down on them damn turnovers. Austin Reeves' turnovers been high over the last month for his standards, and I want him to make better reads on his passes, man. That's really what it is. Throwing the ball in some really, really tight windows, and they've been getting picked off. This team has very active hands, so we need to respect that. Everybody on that team can steal the ball. Know that early. McDaniels, Gobert, Edwards, Conley, Nas, they all steal the ball, man. This is one of the best, if not the very best defensive team in basketball today. So you cannot give them the basketball. They're likely going to take it anyway. So let's cut down them turnovers, rebound the basketball, keep Rudy Gobert under 10 points. You know what I mean? And hopefully Anthony ain't having one of them games. And if he does, hopefully our Anthony is having one of them games to match. You know, superstars going to be superstars. But it's on my role players tonight to get this victory, in my opinion. So that's pretty much what I got to say, man. Everybody enjoy the game at 7 p.m. against the Minnesota Timberwolves. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.